COVID-19 mRNA vaccine, nucleoside modified. Annex I. Summary of product characteristics. This medicinal product is subject to additional monitoring. This will allow quick identification of new safety information. Healthcare professionals are asked to report any suspected adverse reactions. See Section 4.8 for how to report adverse reactions. BT_1000X858PX. 1 Name of the medicinal product. Comirnaty concentrate for dispersion for injection. COVID-19 mRNA vaccine, nucleoside modified. 2 Qualitative and quantitative composition. This is a multi-dose vial and must be diluted before use. 1 vial, 0.45 ml, contains 5 doses of 0.3 ml after dilution. 1 dose, 0.3 ml, contains 30 micrograms of COVID-19 mRNA vaccine, embedded in lipid nanoparticles. Single-stranded, 5-capped messenger RNA, mRNA, produced using a cell-free in vitro transcription from the corresponding DNA templates, encoding the viral spike, S, protein of SARS-CoV-2. For the full list of excipients, see Section 6.1. 3 Pharmaceutical form. Concentrate for dispersion for injection, sterile concentrate. The vaccine is a white to off-white frozen dispersion, pH, 6.9 to 7.9. 4 Clinical particulars. 4.1 Therapeutic indications. Comirnaty is indicated for active immunization to prevent COVID-19 caused by SARS-CoV-2 virus, in individuals 16 years of age and older. The use of this vaccine should be in accordance with official recommendations. 4.2 Posology and method of administration. Posology. Individuals 16 years of age and older. Comirnaty is administered intramuscularly after dilution as a course of 2 doses, 0.3 ml each, at least 21 days apart, see sections 4.4 and 5.1. There are no data available on the interchangeability of Comirnaty with other COVID-19 vaccines to complete the vaccination course. Individuals who have received 1 dose of Comirnaty should receive a 2nd dose of Comirnaty to complete the vaccination course. Pediatric population. The safety and efficacy of Comirnaty in children and adolescents aged less than 16 years of age have not yet been established. Limited data are available. Elderly population. No dosage adjustment is required in elderly individuals greater than or equal to 65 years of age. Method of administration. Comirnaty should be administered intramuscularly. The preferred site is the deltoid muscle of the upper arm. Do not inject the vaccine intravascularly, subcutaneously, or intradermally. The vaccine should not be mixed in the same syringe with any other vaccines or medicinal products. For precautions to be taken before administering the vaccine, see Section 4.4. For instructions regarding thawing, handling, and disposal of the vaccine, see Section 6.6. 4.3 Contraindications. Hypersensitivity to the active substance or to any of the excipients listed in Section 6.1. 4.4 Special warnings and precautions for use. Traceability. In order to improve the traceability of biological medicinal products, the name and the batch number of the administered product should be clearly recorded. General recommendations. Hypersensitivity and anaphylaxis. Events of anaphylaxis have been reported. Appropriate medical treatment and supervision should always be readily available in case of an anaphylactic reaction following the administration of the vaccine. Close observation for at least 15 minutes is recommended following vaccination. A 2nd dose of the vaccine should not be given to those who have experienced anaphylaxis to the 1st dose of Comirnaty. Anxiety-related reactions. Anxiety-related reactions, including vasovagal reactions, syncope, hyperventilation, or stress-related reactions may occur in association with vaccination as a psychogenic response to the needle injection. It is important that precautions are in place to avoid injury from fainting. Concurrent illness. Vaccination should be postponed in individuals suffering from acute severe febrile illness or acute infection. The presence of a minor infection and/or low-grade fever should not delay vaccination. Thrombocytopenia and coagulation disorders. As with other intramuscular injections, the vaccine should be given with caution in individuals receiving anticoagulant therapy or those with thrombocytopenia or any coagulation disorder, such as hemophilia, because bleeding or bruising may occur following an intramuscular administration in these individuals. Immunocompromised individuals. The efficacy, safety, and immunogenicity of the vaccine has not been assessed in immunocompromised individuals, including those receiving immunosuppressant therapy. The efficacy of Comirnaty may be lower in immunosuppressed individuals. Duration of protection. The duration of protection afforded by the vaccine is unknown as it is still being determined by ongoing clinical trials. Limitations of vaccine effectiveness. As with any vaccine, vaccination with Comirnaty may not protect all vaccine recipients. Individuals may not be fully protected until 7 days after their second dose of vaccine. Excipients. This vaccine contains less than 1 mol potassium, 39 mg, per dose, that is to say essentially potassium-free. This vaccine contains less than 1 mol sodium, 23 mg, per dose, that is to say essentially sodium-free. 4.5 Interaction with other medicinal products and other forms of interaction. No interaction studies have been performed. Concomitant administration of Comirnaty with other vaccines has not been studied. 4.6 Fertility, pregnancy, and lactation. Pregnancy. There is limited experience with use of Comirnaty in pregnant women. Animal studies do not indicate direct or indirect harmful effects with respect to pregnancy, embryo/fetal development, parturition or postnatal development, see section 5.3. Administration of Comirnaty in pregnancy should only be considered when the potential benefits outweigh any potential risks for the mother and foetus. Breastfeeding. It is unknown whether Comirnaty is excreted in human milk. Fertility. Animal studies do not indicate direct or indirect harmful effects with respect to reproductive toxicity, see section 5.3. 4.7 Effects on ability to drive and use machines. Comirnaty has no or negligible influence on the ability to drive and use machines. However, some of the effects mentioned under section 4.8 may temporarily affect the ability to drive or use machines. 4.8 Undesirable effects. Summary of safety profile. The safety of Comirnaty was evaluated in participants 16 years of age and older in 2 clinical studies that included 21,744 participants that have received at least 1 dose of Comirnaty. In Study 2, a total of 21,720 participants 16 years of age or older received at least 1 dose of Comirnaty, and a total of 21,728 participants 16 years of age or older received placebo, including 138 and 145 adolescents 16 and 17 years of age in the vaccine and placebo groups, respectively. A total of 20,519 participants 16 years of age or older received 2 doses of Comirnaty. At the time of the analysis of Study 2, a total of 19,067, 9,531 Comirnaty and 9,536 placebo, participants 16 years of age or older were evaluated for safety for at least 2 months after the second dose of Comirnaty. This included a total of 10,727, 5,350 Comirnaty and 5,377 placebo, participants 16 to 55 years of age, and a total of 8,340, 4,181 Comirnaty and 4,159 placebo, participants 56 years and older. The most frequent adverse reactions in participants 16 years of age and older were injection site pain, and GT 80%, fatigue, and GT 60%, headache, and GT 50%, myalgia and chills, and GT 30%, arthralgia, and GT 20%, pyrexia and injection site swelling, and GT 10%, and were usually mild or moderate in intensity and resolved within a few days after vaccination. A slightly lower frequency of reactogenicity events was associated with greater age. Tabulated list of adverse reactions from clinical studies. Adverse reactions observed during clinical studies are listed below according to the following frequency categories. Very common, greater than or equal to 1/10. Common, greater than or equal to 1/102 and LT 1/10. Uncommon, greater than or equal to 1/1,0002 and LT 1/100. Rare, greater than or equal to 1/10,0002 and LT 1/1,000. Very rare, and LT 1/10,000. Not known, cannot be estimated from the available data. Table 1, Adverse reactions from Comirnaty clinical trials. System organ class. Very common. Greater than or equal to 1/10. Common. Greater than or equal to 1/102 and LT 1/10. Uncommon. Greater than or equal to 1/1,00002 and LT 1/100. Rare. Greater than or equal to 1/10,002 and LT 1/1,000. Not known, cannot be estimated from the available data. Blood and lymphatic system disorders. Lymphadenopathy. Immune system disorders. Anaphylaxis. Hypersensitivity. Psychiatric disorders. Insomnia. Nervous system disorders. Headache. Acute peripheral facial paralysis. Gastrointestinal disorders. Nausea. Musculoskeletal and connective tissue disorders. Arthralgia, myalgia. Pain in extremity. System organ class. Very common. Greater than or equal to 1/10. Common. Greater than or equal to 1/102 and LT 1/10. Uncommon. Greater than or equal to 1/1,00002 and LT 1/100. Rare. Greater than or equal to 1/10,002 and LT 1/1,000. Not known, cannot be estimated from the available data. General disorders and administration site conditions. Injection site pain, fatigue, chills, pyrexia *, injection site swelling. Injection site redness. Malaise, injection site pruritus. *, a higher frequency of pyrexia was observed after the second dose. Throughout the safety follow-up period to date, acute peripheral facial paralysis, or palsy, was reported by 4 participants in the COVID-19 mRNA vaccine group. Onset was day 37 after dose 1, participant did not receive dose 2, and days 3, 9, and 48 after dose 2. No cases of acute peripheral facial paralysis, or palsy, were reported in the placebo group. The safety profile in 545 subjects receiving Comirnaty that were seropositive for SARS-CoV-2 at baseline, was similar to that seen in the general population. Reporting of suspected adverse reactions. Reporting suspected adverse reactions after authorization of the medicinal product is important. It allows continued monitoring of the benefit/risk balance of the medicinal product. Healthcare professionals are asked to report any suspected adverse reactions via the national reporting system listed in Appendix V and include batch/lot number if available. 4.9 Overdose. Overdose data is available from 52 study participants included in the clinical trial that due to an error in dilution received 58 micrograms of Comirnaty. The vaccine recipients did not report an increase in reactogenicity or adverse reactions. In the event of overdose, monitoring of vital functions and possible symptomatic treatment is recommended. 5 Pharmacological properties. 5.1 Pharmacodynamic properties. Pharmacotherapeutic group, vaccines, ATC code, J07BX. Mechanism of action. The nucleoside-modified messenger RNA in Comirnaty is formulated in lipid nanoparticles, which enable delivery of the non-replicating RNA into host cells to direct transient expression of the SARS-CoV-2 antigen. The mRNA codes for membrane-anchored, full-length S with 2-point mutations within the central helix. Mutation of these two amino acids to proline locks S in an antigenically preferred prefusion conformation. The vaccine elicits both neutralizing antibody and cellular immune responses to the spike, S, antigen, which may contribute to protection against COVID-19. Efficacy. Study 2 is a multi-center, multinational, phase 1/2/3 randomized, placebo-controlled, observer-blind dose-finding, vaccine candidate selection and efficacy study in participants 12 years of age and older. Randomization was stratified by age, 12 through 15 years of age, 16 through 55 years of age, or 56 years of age and older, with a minimum of 40% of participants in the greater than or equal to 56-year stratum. The study excluded participants who were immunocompromised and those who had previous clinical or microbiological diagnosis of COVID-19. Participants with pre-existing stable disease, defined as disease not requiring significant change in therapy or hospitalization for worsening disease during the 6 weeks before enrollment, were included, as were participants with known stable infection with human immunodeficiency virus, HIV, hepatitis C virus, HCV, or hepatitis B virus, HBV. At the time of the analysis of Study 2, information presented is based on participants 16 years and older. Efficacy in participants 16 years of age and older. In the Phase 2/3 portion, approximately 44,000 participants were randomized equally and were to receive 2 doses of COVID-19 mRNA vaccine or placebo separated by 21 days. The efficacy analyses included participants that received their second vaccination within 19 to 42 days after their first vaccination. Participants are planned to be followed for up to 24 months after dose 2, for assessments of safety and efficacy against COVID-19. In the clinical study, participants were required to observe a minimum interval of 14 days before and after administration of an influenza vaccine in order to receive either placebo or COVID-19 mRNA vaccine. In the clinical study, participants were required to observe a minimum interval of 60 days before or after receipt of blood/plasma products or immunoglobulins within through conclusion of the study in order to receive either placebo or COVID-19 mRNA vaccine. The population for the analysis of the primary efficacy endpoint included 36,621 participants 12 years of age and older, 18,242 in the COVID-19 mRNA vaccine group and 18,379 in the placebo group, who did not have evidence of prior infection with SARS-CoV-2 through 7 days after the second dose. In addition, 134 participants were between the ages of 16 to 17 years of age, 66 in the COVID-19 mRNA vaccine group and 68 in the placebo group, and 1,616 participants 75 years of age and older, 804 in the COVID-19 mRNA vaccine group and 812 in the placebo group. Efficacy against COVID-19. At the time of the primary efficacy analysis, participants had been followed for symptomatic COVID-19 for in total 2,214 person-years for the COVID-19 mRNA vaccine and in total 2,222 person-years in the placebo group. There were no meaningful clinical differences in overall vaccine efficacy in participants who were at risk of severe COVID-19, including those with one or more comorbidities that increase the risk of severe COVID-19, e.g. asthma, body mass index, BMI, greater than or equal to 30 kilograms per square meter, chronic pulmonary disease, diabetes mellitus, hypertension. The vaccine efficacy information is presented in Table 2. Table 2, Vaccine efficacy. First COVID-19 occurrence from 7 days after dose 2, by age subgroup. Participants without evidence of infection prior to 7 days after dose 2. Evaluable efficacy, 7 days, Population. First COVID-19 occurrence from 7 days after dose 2 in participants without evidence of prior SARS-CoV-2 infection *. Subgroup. COVID-19 mRNA vaccine. NA equals 18,198. Cases. N1B. Surveillance time EC, N2D. Placebo. NA equals 18,325. Cases. N1B. Surveillance time EC, N2D. Vaccine efficacy. Percent, 95% CI, F. All subjects C. 8. 2.214, 17,411. 162. 2.222, 17,511. 95.0, 90.0, 97.9. 16 to 64 years. 7. 1.706, 13,549. 143. 1.710, 13,618. 95.1, 89.6, 98.1. 65 years and older. 1. 0.508, 3,848. 19. 0.511, 3,880. 94.7, 66.7, 99.9. 65 to 74 years. 1. 0.406, 3,074. 14. 0.406, 3,095. 92.9, 53.1, 99.8. 75 years and older. 0. 0.102, 774. 5. 0.106, 785. 100.0, minus 13.1, 100.0. Note, confirmed cases were determined by reverse transcription polymerase chain reaction, RT-PCR, and at least one symptom consistent with COVID-19 * case definition, at least one of fever, new or increased cough, new or increased shortness of breath, chills, new or increased muscle pain, new loss of taste or smell, sore throat, diarrhea, or vomiting. Participants who had no serological or virological evidence, prior to 7 days after receipt of the last dose, of past SARS-CoV-2 infection, i.e., N-binding antibody serum negative at visit 1 and SARS-CoV-2 not detected by nucleic acid amplification tests, NAAT, nasal swab at visits 1 and 2, and had negative NAAT, nasal swab, at any unscheduled visit prior to 7 days after dose 2 were included in the analysis. AN equals number of participants in the specified group. BN1 equals number of participants meeting the endpoint definition. See total surveillance time in 1,000 person years for the given endpoint across all subjects within each group at risk for the endpoint. Time period for COVID-19 case accrual is from 7 days after dose 2 to the end of the surveillance period. DN2 equals number of subjects at risk for the endpoint. No confirmed cases were identified in participants 12 to 15 years of age. F confidence interval, CI, for vaccine efficacy is derived based on the Klopper and Pearson method adjusted to the surveillance time. CI not adjusted for multiplicity. In the second primary analysis, compared to placebo, efficacy of COVID-19 mRNA vaccine in participants from first COVID-19 occurrence from 7 days after dose 2 compared to participants with or without evidence of prior infection with SARS-CoV-2 was 94.6%, 95% credible interval of 89.9% to 97.3%, in participants 16 years of age and older. Additionally, subgroup analyses of the primary efficacy endpoint showed similar efficacy point estimates across genders, racial and ethnic groups, and participants with medical comorbidities associated with high risk of severe COVID-19. Pediatric population. The European Medicines Agency has deferred the obligation to submit the results of studies with Comirnaty in the pediatric population in prevention of COVID-19. See Section 4.2 for information on pediatric use. This medicinal product has been authorized under a so-called conditional approval scheme. This means that further evidence on this medicinal product is awaited. The European Medicines Agency will review new information on this medicinal product at least every year, and this SMPC will be updated as necessary. 5.2 Pharmacokinetic properties. Not applicable. 5.3 Preclinical safety data. Non-clinical data reveal no special hazard for humans based on conventional studies of repeat dose toxicity and reproductive and developmental toxicity. General toxicity. Rats intramuscularly administered Comirnaty, receiving 3 full human doses once weekly, generating relatively higher levels in rats due to body weight differences, demonstrated some injection site edema and erythema and increases in white blood cells, including basophils and eosinophils, consistent with an inflammatory response, as well as vacuolation of portal hepatocytes without evidence of liver injury. All effects were reversible. Genotoxicity/carcinogenicity. Neither genotoxicity nor carcinogenicity studies were performed. The components of the vaccine, lipids and mRNA, are not expected to have genotoxic potential. Reproductive toxicity. Reproductive and developmental toxicity were investigated in rats in a combined fertility and developmental toxicity study where female rats were intramuscularly administered Comirnaty prior to mating and during gestation, receiving 4 full human doses that generate relatively higher levels in rat due to body weight differences, spanning between premating day 21 and gestational day 20. SARS-CoV-2 neutralizing antibody responses were present in maternal animals from prior to mating to the end of the study on postnatal day 21, as well as in foetuses and offspring. There were no vaccine-related effects on female fertility, pregnancy, or embryo-fetal or offspring development. No Comirnaty data are available on vaccine placental transfer or excretion in milk. 6 Pharmaceutical particulars. 6.1 List of excipients. 4-hydroxybutyl, azanadiol, bis, hexane 6,1-diol, bis, 2-hexyldecanoate, ALC0315. 2-polyethylene glycol, -2000N-N-didetradecylacetamide, ALC0159. 1,2-disteroyl SN-glycero-3-phosphocholine, DSPC. Cholesterol. Potassium chloride. Potassium dihydrogen phosphate. Sodium chloride. Disodium phosphate dihydrate. Sucrose. Water for injections. 6.2 Incompatibilities. This medicinal product must not be mixed with other medicinal products except those mentioned in Section 6.6. 6.3 Shelf life. Unopened vial, 6 months at -90 degrees Celsius to -60 degrees C. Once removed from the freezer, the unopened vaccine can be stored for up to 5 days at 2 degrees Celsius to 8 degrees Celsius, and up to 2 hours at temperatures up to 30 degrees Celsius, prior to use. Once thawed, the vaccine should not be refrozen. Closed-lid vial trays containing 195 vials removed from frozen storage, and LT-60 degrees Celsius, may be at room temperature, and LT 25 degrees Celsius, for up to 5 minutes for transfer between ultra-low temperature environments. After vial trays are returned to frozen storage following room temperature exposure, they must remain in frozen storage for at least 2 hours before they can be removed again. Diluted medicinal product. Chemical and physical in-use stability has been demonstrated for 6 hours at 2 degrees C to 30 degrees C after dilution in sodium chloride 9 mg/ml, 0.9%, solution for injection. From a microbiological point of view, the product should be used immediately. If not used immediately, in-use storage times and conditions are the responsibility of the user. 6.4 Special precautions for storage. Store in a freezer at -90 degrees Celsius to -60 degrees Celsius. Store in the original package in order to protect from light. During storage, minimize exposure to room light, and avoid exposure to direct sunlight and ultraviolet light. Thawed vials can be handled in room light conditions. When you are ready to thaw or use the vaccine, open lid vial trays, or vial trays containing less than 195 vials removed from frozen storage, and LT-60 degrees Celsius, may be at room temperature, and LT 25 degrees Celsius, for up to 3 minutes to remove vials or for transfer between ultra-low temperature environments. Once a vial is removed from the vial tray, it should be thawed for use. After vial trays are returned to frozen storage following room temperature exposure, they must remain in frozen storage for at least 2 hours before they can be removed again. For storage conditions after thawing and dilution of the medicinal product, see section 6.3. 6.5 Nature and contents of container. 2 ml clear multi-dose vial, type I glass, with a stopper, synthetic bromobutyl rubber, and a flip-off plastic cap with aluminium seal. Each vial contains 5 doses. Pack size, 195 vials. No more than 2 hours at room temperature. Up to 30 degrees Celsius. 1.8 ml of 0.9% sodium chloride injection. 6.6 Special precautions for disposal and other handling. Handling instructions. Comirnaty should be prepared by a healthcare professional using aseptic technique to ensure the sterility of the prepared dispersion. Thawing prior to dilution. The multi-dose vial is stored frozen and must be thawed prior to dilution. Frozen vials should be transferred to an environment of 2 degrees Celsius to 8 degrees Celsius to thaw. A 195 vial pack may take 3 hours to thaw. Alternatively, frozen vials may also be thawed for 30 minutes at temperatures up to 30 degrees Celsius for immediate use. Allow the thawed vial to come to room temperature and gently invert it 10 times prior to dilution. Do not shake. Prior to dilution, the thawed dispersion may contain white to off-white opaque amorphous particles. Dilution. The thawed vaccine must be diluted in its original vial with 1.8 ml sodium chloride 9 mg/ml, 0.9%, solution for injection, using a 21 gauge or narrower needle and aseptic techniques. Pull back plunger to 1.8 ml to remove air from vial. Gently X10. Equalize vial pressure before removing the needle from the vial stopper by withdrawing 1.8 ml air into the empty diluent syringe. Gently invert the diluted dispersion 10 times. Do not shake. The diluted vaccine should present as an off-white dispersion with no particulates visible. Discard the diluted vaccine if particulates or discoloration are present. Record appropriate date and time. Use within 6 hours after dilution. 0.3 ml diluted vaccine. The diluted vials should be marked with the appropriate date and time. Do not freeze or shake the diluted dispersion. If refrigerated, allow the diluted dispersion to come to room temperature prior to use. Preparation of individual 0.3 ml doses of Comirnaty. After dilution, the vial contains 2.25 ml corresponding to 5 doses of 0.3 ml. Withdraw the required 0.3 ml dose of diluted vaccine using a sterile needle. Discard any unused vaccine within 6 hours after dilution. Disposal. Any unused medicinal product or waste material should be disposed of in accordance with local requirements. 7 Marketing Authorization Holder. BioNTech Manufacturing GmbH. Ender Gold Group 12. 55,131 Mainz. Germany. Phone, +49 6131 90,840. Fax, +49 6131 908 4390. info@biontech.de. 8 Marketing Authorization Number, S. EU/1/20/1528. 9 Date of first authorization/renewal of the authorization. Date of first authorization, DD month YYYY. 10. Date of revision of the text. Detailed information on this medicinal product is available on the website of the European Medicines Agency http://www.ema.europa.eu. Annex 2. A. Manufacturers of the biological active substances and manufacturers responsible for batch release. B. Conditions or restrictions regarding supply and use. C. Other conditions and requirements of the marketing authorization. D. Conditions or restrictions with regard to the safe and effective use of the medicinal product. E. Specific obligation to complete post-authorization measures for the conditional marketing authorization. A. Manufacturers of the biological active substances and manufacturers responsible for batch release. Name and address of the manufacturers of the biological active substance, S. BioNTech Manufacturing GmbH. Ender Gold Group 12. 55,131 Mainz. Germany. Rentschler Biopharma SE. Erwin Rentschler Strasse 21. 88,471 Lofheim. Germany. Wyeth Biopharma Division of Wyeth Pharmaceuticals LLC. 1, Bird Road. Andover, Massachusetts, 01810. USA. Name and address of the manufacturers responsible for batch release. BioNTech Manufacturing GmbH. Kupferbergterra 17-19. 55,116 Mainz. Germany. Pfizer Manufacturing Belgium NV. Rijksweg 12. 2,870 Puurs. Belgium. The printed package leaflet of the medicinal product must state the name and address of the manufacturer responsible for the release of the concerned batch. In view of the declared public health emergency of international concern and in order to ensure early supply, this medicinal product is subject to a time-limited exemption allowing reliance on batch control testing conducted in the registered site, S, that are located in a third country. This exemption ceases to be valid on August 31, 2021. Implementation of EU-based batch control arrangements, including the necessary variations to the terms of the marketing authorization, has to be completed by August 31, 2021 at the latest, in line with the agreed plan for this transfer of testing. Progress reports have to be submitted on March 31, 2021 and included in the annual renewal application. B. Conditions or restrictions regarding supply and use. Medicinal product subject to medical prescription. Official batch release. In accordance with Article 114 of Directive 2001/83/EC, the official batch release will be undertaken by a state laboratory or a laboratory designated for that purpose. See other conditions and requirements of the marketing authorization. Periodic Safety Update Reports, PSURs. The requirements for submission of PSURs for this medicinal product are set out in the list of Union Reference Dates, EURD list, provided for under Article 107c, 7, of Directive 2001/83/EC and any subsequent updates published on the European Medicines web portal. The marketing authorization holder, MA, shall submit the first PSUR for this product within 6 months following authorization. D. Conditions or restrictions with regard to the safe and effective use of the medicinal product. Risk Management Plan, RMP. The marketing authorization holder, MA, shall perform the required pharmacovigilance activities and interventions detailed in the agreed RMP presented in Module 1.8.2 of the marketing authorization and any agreed subsequent updates of the RMP. An updated RMP should be submitted at the request of the European Medicines Agency. Whenever the risk management system is modified, especially as the result of new information being received that may lead to a significant change to the benefit/risk profile or as the result of an important pharmacovigilance or risk minimization milestone being reached. A specific obligation to complete post-authorization measures for the conditional marketing authorization. This being a conditional marketing authorization and pursuant to Article 14 of Regulation, EC, No. 726/2004, the MA shall complete, within the stated time frame, the following measures. Description. Due date. In order to complete the characterization of the active substance and finished product, the MA should provide additional data. July 2021. Interim reports, March 31, 2021. In order to ensure consistent product quality, the MA should provide additional information to enhance the control strategy, including the active substance and finished product specifications. July 2021. Interim reports, March 2021. In order to confirm the consistency of the finished product manufacturing process, the MA should provide additional validation data. March 2021. In order to confirm the purity profile and ensure comprehensive quality control and batch-to-batch consistency throughout the life cycle of the finished product, the MA should provide additional information about the synthetic process and control strategy for the excipient ALC0315. July 2021. Interim reports, January 2021, April 2021. In order to confirm the purity profile and ensure comprehensive quality control and batch-to-batch consistency throughout the life cycle of the finished product, the MA should provide additional information about the synthetic process and control strategy for the excipient ALC0159. July 2021. Interim reports, January 2021, April 2021. Description. Due date. In order to confirm the efficacy and safety of Comirnaty, the MA should submit the final clinical study report for the randomized, placebo-controlled, observer-blind study C4591001. December 2023. Annex 3. Labeling and package leaflet. A labeling. Particulars to appear on the outer packaging. Carton box label. 1 Name of the medicinal product. Comirnaty concentrate for dispersion for injection. COVID-19 mRNA vaccine, nucleoside modified. 2 Statement of active substance, S. After dilution each vial contains 5 doses of 0.3 ml. 3 List of excipients. Excipients, ALC0315, ALC0159, DSPC, cholesterol, potassium chloride, potassium dihydrogen phosphate, sodium chloride, disodium phosphate dihydrate, sucrose, water for injections. 4 Pharmaceutical form and contents. Concentrate for dispersion for injection. 195 multi-dose vials. 5 Method and route, S, of administration. Intramuscular use after dilution. Read the package leaflet before use. Scan QR code for more information. Dilute before use. Dilute each vial with 1.8 ml sodium chloride 9 mg/ml, 0.9%, solution for injection. 6 Special warning that the medicinal product must be stored out of the sight and reach of children. Keep out of the sight and reach of children. 7 Other special warning, S, if necessary. 8 Expiry date. EXP. 9 Special storage conditions. Storage. Prior to dilution, store at -90 degrees Celsius to -60 degrees Celsius in the original package in order to protect from light. After dilution, store the vaccine at 2 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius and use within 6 hours. Discard any unused vaccine. 10 Special precautions for disposal of unused medicinal products or waste materials derived from such medicinal products, if appropriate. 11 Name and address of the marketing authorization holder. BioNTech Manufacturing GmbH. Ender Gold Group 12. 55,131 Mainz, Germany. 12 Marketing Authorization Number, S. EU/1/20/1528. 13 Batch Number. Lot. 14 General Classification for Supply. 15 instructions on use. 16 information in Braille. Justification for not including Braille accepted. 17 unique identifier 2D barcode. 2D barcode carrying the unique identifier included. 18 unique identifier, human readable data. PC. SN. NN. Minimum particulars to appear on small immediate packaging units. Vial label. 1 name of the medicinal product and route, S, of administration. Comirnaty sterile concentrate. COVID-19 mRNA vaccine. IM. 2 method of administration. 3 expiry date. EXP. 4 batch number. Lot. 5 contents by weight, by volume, or by unit. 5 doses after dilution. 6 other. Discard date/time. B. Package leaflet. Package leaflet, information for the user. Comirnaty concentrate for dispersion for injection. COVID-19 mRNA vaccine, nucleoside modified. This medicine is subject to additional monitoring. This will allow quick identification of new safety information. You can help by reporting any side effects you may get. See the end of section 4 for how to report side effects. BT_1000X858PX. Read all of this leaflet carefully before you receive this vaccine because it contains important information for you. Keep this leaflet. You may need to read it again. If you have any further questions, ask your doctor, pharmacist, or nurse. If you get any side effects, talk to your doctor, pharmacist, or nurse. This includes any possible side effects not listed in this leaflet. See section 4. What is in this leaflet? 1. What Comirnaty is and what it is used for. 2. What you need to know before you receive Comirnaty. 3. How Comirnaty is given. 4. Possible side effects. 5. How to store Comirnaty. 6. Contents of the pack and other information. 1. What Comirnaty is and what it is used for. Comirnaty is a vaccine used for preventing COVID-19 caused by SARS-CoV-2 virus. Comirnaty is given to adults and adolescents from 16 years of age and older. The vaccine causes the immune system, the body's natural defenses, to produce antibodies and blood cells that work against the virus, so giving protection against COVID-19. As Comirnaty does not contain the virus to produce immunity, it cannot give you COVID-19. 2. What you need to know before you receive Comirnaty. Comirnaty should not be given. If you are allergic to the active substance or any of the other ingredients of this medicine, listed in section 6. Warnings and precautions. Talk to your doctor, pharmacist, or nurse before you are given the vaccine if you have ever had a severe allergic reaction or breathing problems after any other vaccine injection or after you were given Comirnaty in the past. You have ever fainted following any needle injection. You have a severe illness or infection with high fever. However, you can have your vaccination if you have a mild fever or upper airway infection like a cold. You have a bleeding problem, you bruise easily or you use a medicine to prevent blood clots. You have a weakened immune system, because of a disease such as HIV infection or a medicine such as corticosteroid that affects your immune system. As with any vaccine, the 2-dose vaccination course of Comirnaty may not fully protect all those who receive it and it is not known how long you will be protected. Children and adolescents. Comirnaty is not recommended for children aged under 16 years. Other medicines and Comirnaty. Tell your doctor or pharmacist if you are using, have recently used or might use any other medicines or have recently received any other vaccine. Pregnancy and breastfeeding. If you are pregnant or breastfeeding, think you may be pregnant or are planning to have a baby, ask your doctor or pharmacist for advice before you receive this vaccine. Driving and using machines. Some of the effects of vaccination mentioned in section 4, possible side effects, may temporarily affect your ability to drive or use machines. Wait until these effects have worn off before you drive or use machines. Comirnaty contains potassium and sodium. This vaccine contains less than 1 mol potassium, 39 milligrams, per dose, that is to say essentially potassium-free. This vaccine contains less than 1 mol sodium, 23 milligrams, per dose, that is to say essentially sodium-free. 3. How Comirnaty is given. Comirnaty is given after dilution as an injection of 0.3 ml into a muscle of your upper arm. You will receive 2 injections, given at least 21 days apart. After the first dose of Comirnaty, you should receive a second dose of the same vaccine after 21 days to complete the vaccination course. If you have any further questions on the use of Comirnaty, ask your doctor, pharmacist, or nurse. 4 possible side effects. Like all vaccines, Comirnaty can cause side effects, although not everybody gets them. Very common side effects may affect more than 1 in 10 people. Injection site, pain, swelling, tiredness, headache, muscle pain, joint pain, chills, fever. Common side effects may affect up to 1 in 10 people. Injection site redness, nausea. Uncommon side effects may affect up to 1 in 100 people. Enlarged lymph nodes, feeling unwell, pain in limb, insomnia, injection site itching. Rare side effects may affect up to 1 in 1,000 people. Temporary one-sided facial drooping. Not known, cannot be estimated from the available data. Severe allergic reaction. Reporting of side effects. If you get any side effects, talk to your doctor, pharmacist, or nurse. This includes any possible side effects not listed in this leaflet. You can also report side effects directly via the national reporting system listed in Appendix V and include batch/lot number if available. By reporting side effects you can help provide more information on the safety of this medicine. 5. How to store Comirnaty. Keep this medicine out of the sight and reach of children. The following information about storage, expiry, and use and handling is intended for healthcare professionals. Do not use this medicine after the expiry date which is stated on the carton and label after EXP. The expiry date refers to the last day of that month. Store in freezer at -90 degrees Celsius to -60 degrees Celsius. Store in the original package in order to protect from light. After thawing, the vaccine should be diluted and used immediately. However, in-use stability data have demonstrated that once removed from freezer, the undiluted vaccine can be stored for up to 5 days at 2 degrees Celsius to 8 degrees Celsius, or up to 2 hours at temperatures up to 30 degrees Celsius, prior to use. After dilution, store the vaccine at 2 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius and use within 6 hours. Discard any unused vaccine. Once removed from the freezer and diluted, the vials should be marked with the new discard date and time. Once thawed, the vaccine cannot be refrozen. Do not use this vaccine if you notice particulates in the dilution or discoloration. Do not throw away any medicines via wastewater or household waste. Ask your pharmacist how to throw away medicines you no longer use. These measures will help protect the environment. 6. Contents of the pack and other information. What Comirnaty contains. The active substance is COVID-19 mRNA vaccine. After dilution, the vial contains 5 doses of 0.3 ml with 30 micrograms mRNA each. The other ingredients are 4-hydroxybutyl, azanadyl, bis, hexane 6,1-diol, bis, 2-hexyldecanoate, ALC0315. 2-polyethylene glycol, -2000N-N-ditetraidesalicetamide, ALC0159. 1,2-disteroyl SN-glycero-3-phosphocholine, DSPC. Cholesterol. Potassium chloride. Potassium dihydrogen phosphate. Sodium chloride. Disodium phosphate dihydrate. Sucrose. Water for injections. What Comirnaty looks like and contents of the pack. The vaccine is a white to off-white dispersion, pH 6.9 to 7.9, provided in a multi-dose vial of 5 doses in a 2 ml clear vial, type I glass, with a rubber stopper and a flip-off plastic cap with aluminium seal. Pack size, 195 vials. Marketing authorization holder: BioNTech Manufacturing GmbH. Ender Gold Group 12. 55,131 Mainz. Germany. Phone, +49 6131 90,840. Fax, +49 6131 908 4390. info@biontech.de. Manufacturers: BioNTech Manufacturing GmbH. Kupferberg 17 to 19. 55,116 Mainz. Germany. Pfizer Manufacturing Belgium NV. Rijksweg 12. 2,870 Pures. Belgium. For any information about this medicine, please contact the local representative of the marketing authorization holder. Belgique/Belgienne. Luxembourg/Luxembourg. Pfizer S.A/N.V. Tel/Tel, +32, 0, 2554 6211. Lietuvă. Pfizer Luxembourg SARL Filialas Lietuvoe. Tel +370 52 51 4000. Te, +359 2970 4333. Magyarország. Pfizer KFT. Tel, +36 1488 3700. Česká Republika. Pfizer, Spol. SRO. Tel, +420 283 004 111. Malta. Vivian Corporation Ltd. Tel, +35,621 344,610. Denmark. Pfizer APS. TLF, +45 44 201 100. Norge. Pfizer S. TLF, +47 67 526 100. Deutschland. BioNTech Manufacturing GmbH. Tel, +49 6131 90,840. Netherlands. Pfizer BV. Tel, +31, 0, 10 406 4301. Eastie. Pfizer Luxembourg SARL Eastie Filial. Tel, +372 666 7500. Österreich. Pfizer Corporation Austria Guest.m.b.h. Tel, +43, 0, 1521 15 0. Epsilon Lambda Lambda Delta Alpha. Pfizer Epsilon Lambda Lambda AE. Tau Eta Lambda Dot, +3210 6785 800. Polska. Pfizer Polska SPZOO. Tel, +48 22 335 6100. España. Pfizer, SL. Telf +34914909900. Portugal. Pfizer Biopharmaceutica, Sociedade Unipeso Alda. Tel, +351 21 423 5500. France. Pfizer. Tel +33 158 07 34 40. Romania. Pfizer Romania S.R.L. Tel, +40, 0, 21 207 28 00. Hrvatska. Pfizer Croatia DOO. Tel, +385 13908 777. Slovenia. Pfizer Luxembourg SARL. Pfizer, Podroznika Zje Svetovanje S. Podrokgia. Farmacevsky Javnosti, Ljubljana. Tel, plus 386, 0, 152 11 400. Ireland. Pfizer Healthcare Ireland. Tel, 1800 633 363, toll-free. Plus 44, 0, 1304 616,161. Slovenska Republika. Pfizer Luxembourg SARL. Organizačna Zlazka. Tel, plus 421 to 3,355 5,500. Island. ICE Pharma HF. Semi, plus 354 540 8000. Suomi/Finland. Pfizer OI. PA/TEL, plus 358, 0, 9430 040. Italia. Pfizer SRL. TEL, plus 390633 1821. Sveriga. Pfizer AB. TEL, plus 46, 0, 8550 520 00. Kappa Pyro Omicron. Pfizer Epsilon Lambda Lambda Alpha Epsilon, Cyprus Branch. Theta Lambda, plus 357 22 817,690. United Kingdom. Pfizer Limited. TEL, plus 44, 0, 1,304 616,161. Latvia. Pfizer Luxembourg SARL Filiale Latvia. TEL, plus 371 670 35 775. This leaflet was last revised in. This medicine has been given conditional approval. This means that there is more evidence to come about this medicine. The European Medicines Agency will review new information on this medicine at least every year, and this leaflet will be updated as necessary. Scan the code with a mobile device to get the package leaflet in different languages. URL, www.comirnatyglobal.com. Detailed information on this medicine is available on the European Medicines Agency website, http://www.ema.europa.eu. This package leaflet is available in all EU/EEA languages on the European Medicines Agency website. The following information is intended for healthcare professionals only. Administer Comirnaty intramuscularly after dilution as a course of 2 doses, 0.3 ml each, at least 21 days apart. Traceability. In order to improve the traceability of biological medicinal products, the name and the batch number of the administered product should be clearly recorded. Handling instructions. Comirnaty should be prepared by a healthcare professional using aseptic technique to ensure the sterility of the prepared dispersion. The multi-dose vial is stored frozen and must be thawed prior to dilution. Frozen vials should be transferred to an environment of 2 degrees Celsius to 8 degrees Celsius to thaw. A 195 vial pack may take 3 hours to thaw. Alternatively, frozen vials may also be thawed for 30 minutes at temperatures up to 30 degrees Celsius for immediate use. Allow the thawed vial to come to room temperature and gently invert it 10 times prior to dilution. Do not shake. Prior to dilution, the thawed dispersion may contain white to off-white opaque amorphous particles. The thawed vaccine must be diluted in its original vial with 1.8 ml sodium chloride 9 mg/ml, 0.9%, solution for injection, using a 21 gauge or narrower needle and aseptic techniques. Equalize vial pressure before removing the needle from the vial stopper by withdrawing 1.8 ml air into the empty diluent syringe. Gently invert the diluted dispersion 10 times. Do not shake. The diluted vaccine should present as an off-white dispersion with no particulates visible. Discard the diluted vaccine if particulates or discoloration are present. The diluted vials should be marked with the appropriate date and time. Do not freeze or shake the diluted dispersion. If refrigerated, allow the diluted dispersion to come to room temperature prior to use. After dilution, the vial contains 2.25 ml corresponding to 5 doses of 0.3 ml. Withdraw the required 0.3 ml dose of diluted vaccine using a sterile needle. Discard any unused vaccine within 6 hours after dilution. Disposal. Any unused medicinal product or waste material should be disposed of in accordance with local requirements. Annex 4. Conclusions on the granting of the conditional marketing authorization presented by the European Medicines Agency. Conclusions presented by the European Medicines Agency on conditional marketing authorization. The CHMP, having considered the application, is of the opinion that the risk-benefit balance is favorable to recommend the granting of the conditional marketing authorization as further explained in the European Public Assessment Report.